All of England here, and welcome to another World of Warships replay. Today we're taking another look at one of Martin's replays, and today he's playing in the Jean Bart, the Tier 9 French battleship. Now, this game is sort of more a fact of getting into a position that he shouldn't really have allowed to have sort of gotten into. The Jean Bart, it's a different sort of ship, as it doesn't really have the usual battleship characteristics. So you can currently see, he's using the main battery reload booster, and you can also see it's got a speed boost. Now, that speed boost is available on other battleships, but it's still usually quite uncharacteristic of just generally battleships in the game. So, the speed boost does allow you to really just go a lot faster and generally get into various positions, and in this game you will see he does manage to get into some pretty well, you'll see. I won't spoil it, but you'll see where he manages to get and what he actually manages to do when in that position. Now, starting off, we're all mainly pushing on this side, which is quite good, as we've currently got the team somewhat split at both sides. So we've got a lot of players this side, the enemy's got a lot of players on the enemy side, and the same really goes to the enemy team over on the sea cap as well. Meaning it's a pretty fair fight, and it's not really going to be a fact of sort of looking around and going, oh, okay, right, well, we've lemming them one side, but instead it's actually playing on two. So at this point, we start off on the left side, and it's just really going to be a fact of clearing them out. So unfortunately, it's some of our ships are a little bit damaged, but we have managed to secure some of the kills. As you can see, one of the destroyers, as well as one of their cruisers being taken out, meaning we do have a good advantage on this side of the map. So obviously with this good maneuverability, and the guns on this ship are quite good as well. You do only have two, so you'll find a lot of the times the Jean Bart, sometimes you'll get the guns taken out and then that's it, because you can't really do anything, as you've only got two, so people will target them, and just casually he gets a nice 25,000 damage salvo there with 6 pens in an overpen. But anyway, it's it does have its weaknesses in that sense that you can actually just make it so it can't defend itself. But even so, that is somewhat unlikely unless you've got an entire flank really focusing your main batteries. But obviously this doesn't happen in this game. So at this point, it's just a fact that he's just trying to stay, I guess, in as much relative cover as possible while still being able to do damage, because obviously having the two guns at the front means it's quite easy, because you can basically just sort of point your nose at anything and fire, rather than needing to sort of like maybe turn and show a bit of broadside to get all your guns firing off. Instead, all he really needs to do here is just point his nose at something, angle against what he needs to, and then fire. And he does try to confirm this Georgia kill. Isn't it really low, but you see there's AP shells coming in from the Slava, and unfortunately that does get taken by another one of our clan members, because as you can currently see, it's me and P Woods in the division with him as well, just going in for a few divs. But yeah, P Woods has already managed to get 2 kills in the Slava. Now, this is quite good. So now the only thing that's really on this sort of side of the map is the Vladivostok and the Yugamo, meaning that, okay, just a nice, very nice citadel there, and that was just with those shots to the side there, getting his total up to 50k. So that just really means we can start pushing over and getting to the other side of the map. Now, we haven't actually lost a ship yet. I'm speaking quite soon here, but you can currently see we do have a real sort of advantage in this game. We're definitely on sort of the, or at least we're on the road to winning here, just for the fact of, we've taken out 4 of their ships and they've taken out none of ours. And now Martin's now thinking, well, at the end of the day, I can sort of see his thought process here is the fact of, well, we've got all these ships over here going against 2 ships. He's in a position where he can start pushing up and take advantage of the flank that's currently being sort of, I guess, occupied on the right-hand side of the map. So you've got this Slava, Bismarck, and Hindenburg, which are currently keeping the sort of 2 battleships and cruiser. They're just keeping them, I guess, entertained at the moment, meaning that no one's really going to be sort of spotting him, so he's just able to start pushing up and really do some damage. Now, the only thing that's really going to get in his way, first of all, he does see the Shikaku, but the only thing that's going to get in his way is probably the Bismarck that's currently on the B cap. But the amount of shots he's already got on him, he's going to be a lot lower HP than him, meaning he's going to have a much easier time to actually deal with him. So he's just waiting to actually see him getting around this corner. So at this point, it's not much is really going on. No one's really dying. No one's firing too much. Obviously with the new rework, it means that a lot more people are sitting at the back, as you can correctly, the Slava's quite far back. Obviously on the left-hand side, everyone's pushing in because there's literally nothing to defend, which is good. That means we're taking map control and then pushing over. But at the moment, it's not really a stalemate, but it's just not much is really going on. But that Bismarck did just get spotted for a second. You can also see the main direct battery reload boost has come off cooldown, so if needed, he can use it if he wants, or we could save it for the future. But at this point, it's like, well, he can start pushing in, because Obviously, German ships are secondary builds, and especially with this update where they get the base dispersion increase, you know, they are definitely the sort of go-to secondary ships. But at the same time, it's not alone. You know, I mean, the Jean Bart, yeah, okay, most of its secondaries are on the back, and they are not as good as the German secondaries. A lot of them are also quite open, meaning they'll be sort of easier to take out, but even with that, it's still got some secondary, so he's going to be able to sort of get a little bit of extra damage as well, just with anything that gets a little bit too close to him, because he'll just be setting fires and just generally making... Ooh, Alaska, broadside. I'm going to be honest, I'll be aiming at the Alaska there, because, you know, it's like you can kind of get him... Well, it wasn't really a broadside, it was more of an angle, but even so, could have potentially got a nice penetration, but... Actually, yeah, the Bismarck's coming in now, so pushing here, 5 kilometers left, and it looks like... So, yeah, the Stalingrad, Alaska, and everyone else has basically smacked him, and that leaves him with a low amount of HP, allowing him to do that. Gets 9... Well, yeah, 9,000 damage right there, and I think it was 11, actually. He started healing up, and gets his total up to a nice 69,000 damage. At this point, I mean, he's got nothing stopping him now, so this is what I was kind of getting at with he wasn't really, I guess... You know, it's just odd that he was able to really get into this position to begin with, because it's just kind of crazy that he managed to. But I'm not gonna spoil it, but you are gonna see. So you can see now most of the enemy team are just sort of, I guess, cornered in one side of the map. I mean, you have got the Vladi as well as the Shikaku, which are, you know, sort of a bit more open out. But I mean, the Shikaku, it's already taken a few shots and it's probably just trying to run away at this point. So they are basically all in one sort of, I guess, segregated thing. And you can currently, yeah, you can see on the map there's some dive bombers coming in. Meaning, you know, you've got a good estimation of where the Shikaku actually is. So it's really just a fact of once you've taken out that Vladivostok, then there is going to be nothing else really, I guess, to stop you going from pushing, because you can literally just point and then go towards one flank. And speaking of the Shikaku, it did just get spotted then. Now, the Alaska we saw earlier, he's also just sitting there now around that corner. I'm assuming he's probably going to be a little bit scared, because you've got a Jean Bart who's going to be, you know, able to just smack your broadside. He's turning his guns here, and I mean, obviously, if the Alaska's stuck here, there's not much he can really do, but I mean, his secondaries are doing quite a bit of work here, setting fires, so if he did repair that first one, then he's now got a perma-fire as well. But I guess he's keeping, at this point, his guns ready because of, obviously, what you can see here. That's a Montana giving him a broadside. So, you can see what's going to happen here. Yeah, 13,000 damage on him, and you can also see there is a Petro, and recently spotted was a Conqueror. And this is where he shouldn't really be, because this is quite dangerous for him, but where he is, he can do a lot of damage. Now, he's only on 92,000 damage here, which is still, I guess, only a portion of what he gets this game, and you're about to see why. I mean, the Petro is just about staying around the corner there, meaning he can't really curve the shots over as he's too close to it. But even so, he's still able to angle against all the rest of the ships. Obviously, the Montana's now trying to kite away and just sort of keep him, I guess, you know, not give him a broadside, but also do damage to him. So it's now just a fact of Martin trying to decide who to actually shoot at, whoever gives him a broadside first. And it looks like we've got some likely candidates here. The Conqueror's firstly turning towards him there, and as well as the Petropavlovsk. So it's just a fact of which one gives him a more opportune target. But obviously he goes to the Petro here, just turning in, exposing more of his broadside than he needs to, meaning his ship sort of turned outwards and showing more Citadel. So obviously managed to get that very nice Citadel then. So that's the Petro taken out. That's one of the ships that's gone here. Now obviously you can see the Shikaku's now also there. He's not moving too, meaning he can get some good salvos and manages to get a 24k there, and he's also running his reload booster, meaning his guns are going to be able to reload and do a lot of damage here too. So keep in mind, this Conqueror's got 70-odd thousand HP there. Yeah, he just did a 67,000 damage salvo there. That is ridiculous, and then just proceeds to get an AA expert as well, because obviously the Shikaku's been giving him a pretty tough time here. Now, unfortunately, this game could have gone actually quite a bit further. As you can currently see, they've got 971 points, and the Shikaku's got 1k left. I mean, you know, he could have taken out the Montana as well, but unfortunately, as you're about to see in a second, you know, he gets taken out, meaning he didn't actually get to sort of attack anything else, because I'd definitely say he'd be allowed to really just start smacking all the other things, because there's still enough HP. The Montana just fired. So I'm sure if there was a bit more time, he probably could have gotten at least maybe 250k there. And there we go. So that is the end of the game, and we're now looking at the end result screen. I don't actually have the team score or detailed report. However, this screen does sort of give you a good indication of how well he performed. Now, obviously, this is a premium ship, meaning that the normal XP you got here doesn't really count, but I mean, you can see you definitely had some modifiers on, and yeah, 1.27 million credits there, which is a ridiculous amount, as well as 6,200 free XP. So, obviously, the awards, he's got the AA Expert, he's got the Devastating Strike, the Dreadnought achievement, as well as High Caliber, which is pretty incredible, and manages to get an incredibly good score of 214,000 damage with only 58 main battery hits. As well as that, also manages to get 3 kills and shoots down quite a few aircraft. I mean, obviously, if he'd managed to get that, well, a couple of those ships in the beginning as well, then he probably could have got a Kraken, but even so, that's an incredibly good amount of damage. 9 citadels, I mean, that's 6 those from a Conqueror. I mean, I don't think the Conqueror realised, you know, what he was doing then when he gave that sort of like a bit of cheek there, where you know, Martin was able to just give him an almighty whack, and a 67,000 salvo, that is impressive. Yeah, I don't really know what to say to that. That was just generally amazing. As well as that, he's got 4 defended ribbons, which is very good, as well as the 121 secondary battery hits. And that's what I was saying, you know, even though the Jean Bart's not got the same sort of, I guess, effectiveness with secondaries, I mean, it can still definitely do quite a lot of damage, as you can see there. Now, that is really it from me. So, I mean, this has been quite a short replay, as we did start somewhat into the game. There's not much was really happening before, so I was like, okay, rather than sort of, I guess, showing you just sort of sailing and that, just go straight into the action and go into there just to make it a little bit shorter and generally make it sort of not such a long thing to watch. And hopefully, you know, that's been good. And that's really it for me. So thank you very much for submitting that replay. Very good to watch. And if you've enjoyed, make sure to leave a like. And I'll see you in the next one. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.